Yeah.
Yeah. Where were we, Koi?
He wants
Systems
to
up.
read more and learn more. So for
Yeah.
systems upgrade,
And he
Read
mentioned
more.
that he's
Yeah,
expiring
but
up
I
the
don't like,
audiobook.
like the thing is like reading and like, like audiobooks, they're not fun. They're not easy. Like, it's an endeavor that you kind of have to like put it on and listen to it and like digest it.
at some point, man, it will become fun. At some point, it will you will discover the things you like. It becomes easier. Like like when I imagine when you started skateboarding, it was a grind as well. Learning it. But at some point, you become good at it, and it just becomes like second nature. You no longer notice the effort. It's just engagement with ideas. So yeah,
Koi.
so
Yeah. Sorry, Kahlil. Are you done?
go ahead,
I thought you're
go
done.
ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. So what got me thinking, sad Koi, is that sakto ba si Kahlil? I guess it does become fun, but I'm curious to know to find out nga what is like the have you figured out your preferred way to learn?
Um, well, yeah, I guess when something just sparks my interest, like
No, but like
there needs to be a seed planted in my head that, oh, that I can't just go randomly. I'll learn about stars today.
Hmm.
I'll learn about insects today. I can't do that. Like,
no, I
it,
meant
it
like
needs.
I meant so for example, I'll use me as an example, huh? So like I mentioned when you weren't here that I actually can't read books. Like I used to try to read books and I
Mhm.
just gave up on it, right? And
Yeah.
because I just can't get myself to do it. Like I'll buy a book and I'll end up reading half of it in 6 months. It's just there on my side table. I'll read a page, I fall asleep, and nothing happens. And then when I discovered audiobooks, then all of a sudden very easily, quote unquote, read a book once a month. No,
Yeah.
uh, and although you can argue, maybe retention is harder, taking notes is harder because it's an
Mm,
audiobook. But the point is, my comparison was either nothing
yeah.
or audiobooks. No, and
Mm.
I found that the audiobooks I could very easily digest. No, so
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a if you've figured out your preferred medium in a sense of how to learn.
Mm. Um, the thing is like, audiobooks definitely a lot easier because I can just put it on while I'm doing stuff, right? But it's just as hard for me to listen and digest it as I'm reading. Yeah, and I'm the same as you. Like, it takes me like at least 2 3 months to finish a book. At least that's really fast for me. But with an audiobook, I can finish it in like a couple of weeks. Like the Dale Carnegie one. Like I think it's like 9 hours, like audiobook. Yeah, but
So where do you
digesting it,
listen to
yeah.
the audiobook?
I'm sorry.
Where do you listen to the audiobook?
Drives definitely.
Okay na. And when you're
Yeah,
by yourself, I assume, while
yeah.
driving.
Yeah. So surprisingly, I'm like, I wasn't kidding about I thrive on multitasking. I can play video games and listen to audiobooks, and it yeah, I retain it.
Oh, then kana.
Eh,
Then that might be your thing. Like I noticed that about me, so I just gave up on all reading of books. Like I instead of putting my effort there, I just said,
Mhm.
okay, this is what I like to do. This is my preferred medium in a sense. It's all audio. So I just
Mhm.
decided nga majority of my learning will be audio.
Yeah. How about
okay,
Khalil, John? You guys prefer audiobooks or like books? Books.
Books. I like reading
I,
books, physical books.
I have another way of looking at it. It's like just in time learning versus just in case learning. So
Mm,
just in time learning is like you learn because you have a problem to solve or
mm,
you're curious about something. So it's very hard to do just in case learning. It's like maybe this will be useful for me in the future. But if it's like an urgent, problem right now, a burning problem, it's like I have this problem in business, I have problems in relationship, I have this other problems. Like, what do I need to learn in order to solve this? So you're very
Mm.
motivated to learn. So you just find
Yeah.
a book that could answer that. Even if it doesn't
Mm.
have the answer, you'll be motivated to read it or listen to podcasts or whatever medium it is. It's you have greater motivation to actually
Mm.
seek or to get something from that book, not just like fulfilling that some sort of like, okay, I need to do this and this is my goal. I mean, you have a mission, and then, okay, this is going to be a tool for this mission of mine. So I think
Mm.
that's one way of looking at reading as a solution to a problem right now.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah, it goes back to katong what you said, Koy. Katong you only find motivation to learn when kanang you have something you're interested in. It's usually you're interested in it in a way kay that's kanang just in time learning. Kanang that's what you wanted to learn at that very moment in time, no?
Yeah.
Kanang and maybe you wanted more friends and you wanted to influence people. That's why you read the book.
Yeah, funny you
I
say
don't know.
that, Khalil. Okay, there's actually a part in the book that talks about like there's like an anecdote there about knife factory, right? And yeah, like like one shift was doing like was so much less productive than the other shift. Now, the boss, instead of like yelling at the underproductive shift, what he did was he like had a board or something that he wrote like, like if they were, I forgot what they were producing. Let's say they're producing like a car or whatever. So in this shift, they produced 7 cars. So he wrote 7 on the board, and then the next shift would come and they would produce, they'd produce like, 9 or 10. Now he basically what he did there was he ignited this sense of competition without telling them what it was. It was just a number on the board. So the underproductive like shift, more like they saw it as like, oh, that's a challenge to overcome. We need to be better than those guys, and they out excelled. They doubled their productivity. And then the book kind of explains that, like, at the core of every human being, we're just like, we are the most important person. Like, sadly, we're all just narcissists in a way. Oh yeah, the the trick as a good leader is how to kind of use that like wiring in our DNA ba, to
How to
motivate
exploit it.
other people. To exploit it basically. But how can we do that to ourselves, right?
Mhm.
How can we spark that sense of competition, that sense of like worth? Okay, basically what happened was, when that boss wrote like, the numbers on the board, he murag iyang gi mirror ang murag, oh, the worth, because when the lower productive shift like excelled, they felt good about themselves. And at the end of the day, that's just what everybody wants. We just want to feel good about ourselves as a human being,
Mhm.
be it be productive, be it be more, whatever, succeed. So the trick now is to like, all right, how do we trick ourselves? How do we utilize that knowledge into us
Mhm.
personally? How do we spark enthusiasm within ourselves?
But I have a more, what you call this, a more I guess nuanced or approach to that way of motivating oneself, because like
Mm,
for each one of us, I think you have a part which desires meaning and purpose, and another
mm,
part which is more of an animal, like more of like desires novelty, recognition, and like a competition. So I think you need to address both parts. That
mm,
whatever you do or whatever your goal is, you have to be able to convince yourself, or you have to see the meaning in that. and as well as like to set it up so that there's some fun in it. Like you could get recognized, like actually this mastermind is sort of a hack for that, because whatever we're doing, we're sharing our successes, and we're sharing challenges. So we are sort of performing in front of this audience. It's not just like we're like alone in
Mhm.
this struggle to do whatever we're doing. So yeah, this is that's like what I've learned the past years as well. Like not
Thanks,
only
Mark,
to
for broadcasting this.
No, but even if we weren't broadcasting it, it's like kanang the fact that you guys are here, that there are other people, even if it's just three other people, kanang gives a level of accountability ba?
Mhm.
And
Mm.
and in a way, you kind of like I don't want to use the word performance, but it kind of is like kanang you want to we're motivated to in a way perform in a sense nga you do what you promised to what you said
Y-
you
There are
fulfill the
there's a third party accountability check.
yeah.
yeah, because like
And that's one of
if you
the
look at if you look at human history, most of the human history, like we've been operating in the context of a tribe.
Mhm.
And that's just how we operate. It's like we are tribal people. We are motivated by the recognition of our peers, that our impact among the small group. So
Mhm.
this is the way it is. I mean, if you wanna achieve something, when there's that part of you, which is that tribal animal, or that tribesman.
Mhm.
So this is this also makes like the journey more fun.